a.m. in Chicago. There's Mike North. I'm Aldo Gandia. This is Mike North's Early Bears special. He's got his American flag out. We decided to change the title of the show from the Mike North Advantage to the Early Bears special because this is a little bit different. And we have a sponsor. Mike, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Aldo. It's great to talk to you. Ready to go. Got an hour of the Early Bear special. Of course, it's a takeoff because I am a senior citizen. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. You remember Dick Clark, America's oldest teenager? I'm America's youngest senior citizen. We'll steal a little bit off of him. But, yeah, I want to welcome, and I think we got the commercial ready, but I want to tell everybody, how you doing, Chris, that David Spada is our new sponsor. Now, David Spada has been an attorney forever. I mean, and then when I say forever, he was with us at the Score. He's been pertinent on a lot of different radio stations, supporting people. He's been with me for 30 years or with the stations for 30 years, whether it be AM 1000, originally with the Score. He still does some radio stuff, but pleased to have him as our first sponsor. We got more coming in. If you'd like to inquire about being a sponsor, you can DM me. Just follow and DM me at North to North, or go to Aldo Gandia or whatever you got to do. I'll make sure that you're taken care of, but you got to be legit. You can't be. Hey, Mike, I got a handicap service. I got 2 customers, and well, you know what? I'm gonna say no. You know what? You can be on if you got the dough. It's not expensive and it's not cheap. Okay, it's somewhere in between, but we're happy to have them. Now, the commercial that David sent you is one that I did back in the 90s, and you'll be able to tell. I thought I was still quick. I mean, whether you're talking Jagger, whether you're talking North, whether you're talking Sinatra, you look basically and you do basically the same things you did 30, 40 years ago, and people go, yeah, okay. They called me back in the day, One Take Mike. In fact, Joe McCardle, Tom Couch, guys that I worked with that were excellent at making commercials. I won a Clio for doing a commercial on radio, a Clio. And, yeah. And I when you can win a Clio for doing the best commercial with your own type of thing, that's fine. But I didn't win it for this. But I was One Take Mike. The quickness of this commercial, the way that I read it, goes all the way back to when I learned from a teacher, Miss Tobin, back at St. Gertrude's, who kept me after school. And I didn't mind because she was pretty hot looking. I was starting to feel my oats in 4th grade, believe me, when I tell you this. And there was 5 or 6 of us that didn't do well reading. And she taught me how to read, and I'll never forget it. And when I read commercials, I think of her because I read them so fast. Because we had a certain amount of time, Aldo knows this. There's take after take after take. And I'll tell you a little bit about this, but let's listen to the commercial that David Spada sent us.
If you're injured at work, don't try to be a hero and work in pain. Immediately tell your boss how you were injured and seek medical treatment. Then call my guy, attorney David Spada, to make sure that your rights are protected. David will fight for the payment of your medical bills, lost wages, and settlement. Insurance companies and employers have individuals representing their interests. Why not you? You must have an experienced attorney on your side. All fees are contingent upon your recovery. Call David Spada at 847-729-COMP. That's 847-729-2667.
Yeah, that's right. And then, and then so apropos in honor of Mexican Independence Day, the sort of like, I guess, trio in the background playing that music.
They recorded it at a Mexican restaurant. Right?
Yeah, that's right. Mexican, right over on Wacker in Michigan before everything hit. Basically, I got to tell you something. It's been great welcoming David back. And I remember, after a Ditka show, Mike Ditka, and Harry Carey had to do a Budweiser commercial. And Ditka did it in one take. And when me and Ditka did commercials, we did it in one take. Well, Harry, you did fish. Yeah. Let's do it again. After about the 7th take, Ditka goes, come on, Harry, like that, right in the whole restaurant. And Harry got it right the next time. So anyway, thank you, David. And we're back now to talking about football today, the state of football. I didn't get off to a good start with my media pool yesterday at Circa. I went 0-2 in college. I got 3 games up today. That happens. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You know, I basically, I'm 3-4. I need 3 games left today. I need at least to go 2-1 or 3-0. If I go 1-2, I'll be 500, 5-5 for the first 2 weeks. That's fine. But didn't get off to a good start. Mississippi, I had Georgia Tech. They were horrible. Their quarterback shouldn't be playing Division I football. Their coach was absolutely horrible. Passed up a field goal when it was 14-0 to go for it on 4th and 6. Kick the field goal, go 14-3. They go, wow, you're not going to be able to keep up with them. So you got to score touchdowns. Not if you're not going to score a touchdown. Kick the field goal, go down 11, maybe a little hope for your guys. Instead, you go for it. You don't make it. They come down. It's 21-0. Just Georgia Tech. They should wipe out that whole football program the way it's being done now. Can you sound it's not like I'm a better right now? Absolutely.
A little better.
A little better and not a little better. 0-2 going in, but we'll have some big ones for you later today, my friend.
Yeah. Hey, Q from Cincy is here, and he's a little worried about his defending AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals. He says, can you please, Mike North, give them a pep talk? They are now.
They got Dallas. They got Dallas at Dallas today.
Without Dak Prescott.
Without Dak Prescott, who was absolutely horrendous before he got hurt. Let's not pretend, okay? They were going to get their ass kicked with Dak Prescott. Yeah, I'm tired of the Dak Prescott stuff. Okay. Without Dak. Well, without Dak, with Dak, what have you done?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what have you done? I mean, seriously. I thought Brady went down. Or, I thought Mahomes went down. Dak Prescott, he was doing okay, but he was a mop bucket before he got hurt, and you can't depend on the guy, and he's getting hurt every year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's knock the crap off about Dak Prescott. I mean, he's hurt. What good is he going to do you now? And he's been hurt a couple times. So, the nonsense, we're without Dak. And you know what? They're going with the second stringer today. And I'm not going to question it. We'll see what happens. I happen to lean Dallas getting 7.5 at home. Everybody's acting like, their season is over. I'll tell you what, if Dak Prescott, for the limited time he was in, if that was a preview of things to come, they were going to struggle this year anyway, period. So let's see what happens today. And I'm not condemning Dak Prescott. I'm just condemning the hype, like he's somebody big-time relevant in the National Football League as a quarterback. He's highly paid by the Dallas Cowboys, period, end of story.
There you go. Q says thank you. And he says coffee and Mike North on Sunday mornings. He is in heaven.
Yeah. Well, I'm on my 15th cup trying to get the paleness out of my face. I mean, I'm so damn white. I'm clear right now. I could be one of those people saying goodbye on Martha's Vineyard. Goodbye. No brown people. Goodbye. Thank you. Thanks for coming by. Hey, hand me some coffee, will you, Jose? I mean, come on now. Anyway, I hope to get some color in my face.
Oh, my goodness.
They'll throw you right off the island if they find out about you, Aldo.
Oh, my gosh. You're kidding. Wait a minute. This guy's Puerto Rican?
He's Puerto Rican? Hey, come on over here. Yeah. Give him a ticket and how do you say goodbye? They said goodbye together. It was touching.
Berlissimo wants to put you to work right away. He says, Mike, it's obvious that he's not a serious bettor, but how do you rate his accumulator bet? Bucks -3, Fins +3, Lions -1, Giants -2, Steelers +3, Texans +10. What do you think? Holy cow.
First of all, I didn't know that Berlissimo had a cartoon depiction of me getting up this morning to the left. Thank you, Bellissimo. The likeness is stunning. Let's see here. I like the Bucks. If I had to bet them, I'm not saying I would. I like the Bucks, like the Fins, don't like the Lions, like the Giants. Love the Steelers every week, but that doesn't mean they're going to win. The Texans are good. You know what? Just go with it. I'm not going to give you any advice. You seem to know what you're doing. I mean, and you put a picture of me up, which helped you, as far as things go. So I really, think that your guess is as good as anybody's. I mean, last week I went 3-2. Here on the show, I went 1-1.
Mhm.
I also took the Bears here. I mean, listen to this, folks. I mean, I bet Justin Field and won, and bet against Mitch Trubisky and lost.
Mhm. How about that?
For people that were stunned, saying, Mike, how could you bet against Trubisky?
Mhm.
I don't go according to the quarterbacks. I go according to the teams. And Cincinnati still was in the game up until the very end. They went into overtime, but Trubisky made a nice pass across his body, hit it, got him in field goal range, and upset a team. But, Burrow had 5 turnovers, and I didn't know when you play for the first time for a team as a quarterback, and people are questioning why didn't Mitch cash in on the 5 turnovers. I didn't know when you play a Super Bowl team on their own turf that when they turn the ball over, you're automatically supposed to score. Cincinnati had a hell of a defense.
Mm-hmm.
It was Joe Burrow. Here's what I'll tell you right now. I love Joe Burrow. Okay? I do. Trubisky outplayed him. Period. End of story. So we'll see what happens today. And Justin Field did what he had to do. Justin Field won, came through in the clutch. But for Bear fans to think weather had no factor in that game, you got to be out of your mind. Drive in the weather. Drive in bad weather and then drive in dry weather. Play football in wet weather and then play football in dry weather. Don't come up with the nonsense. The weather didn't help. I was at the game in Green Bay when at Moretti's back in the day when Butkus and Sayers had the worst rain of all time in '94 when they got their stuff retired, their jersey retired. But I sort of looked at this as an early type fog bowl. Mm-hmm. I thought we might lose this game. Okay,
just like I thought we were first half.
Huh?
Looked that way after the first half, right?
Yeah, I thought we were going to lose this game, but the rain kept coming. The Bears did better in the rain. They're mutters, and today I wish it was going to pour. I heard it was going to pour, but now that weather has seemed to move on. Anybody that thinks Aaron Rodgers wouldn't be easier to beat on a wet field than a dry field hasn't watched the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm going to tell you. I think the Bears are going to play a decent game today, but I'm terrified to take. I'm terrified. I've been down to.
Wait a minute. What happened here?
You're on.
Okay. For some reason, there was a.
Pay attention to the show. Will you please quit looking at porn?
I'm not looking at porn. You know what? I forgot to plug
in. There's a lady with a tray going, hi. You know what I mean?
I forgot to plug in my computer, so I got to plug it in or it's going to die. Hold on. Entertain
ready. Go ahead. Get ready. This is what happens. When you have a great team. Stuff happens. You got to adjust on the fly. Can you depend on the other guy to keep the ball rolling while the man's trying to fix something else up? That's what you got to do. You got to also have the gift of gab. You got to know that when your guy is missing, you got to go over other things. You got to do the show solo. That's it. If he should blank out, if he should go away, I'll get it done. But I'll be a lot more tired. And he's back. How are you, everybody?
I am back. Mike, hold on a second. Yeah. You were 1-1 last week, so I gotta toot my own horn here.
Yeah.
I was 2-1.
Yes.
I picked the Steelers to cover, and they, of course, won outright. And I picked the Bears to cover. And now my only loss was the Darnell Mooney. I had him over 65 yards receiving. I was under, so I'm 2-1. And I've got.
You should toot your own horn. I'll play it for you.
That's
I heard that this morning. I was watching. They died with their boots on. But he's 2-1. So we had a good day.
Yeah.
We had a good day. The Mooney deal was the weather. And I'll give everybody another thing. I think I said this here or maybe on AM 1000. I knew Kmet wasn't going to have a good game. They practice against the best tight end in football every day.
Yeah.
They shut out Kmet. They thought Kmet was going to be one of the guys that got it done. That's why they concentrated on Mooney and Kmet. Between the two of them, they had one catch for 8 yards. And they didn't concentrate on the guys that Fields ad-libbed and threw the passes to. Those guys were complete surprises. So congratulations. I thought Eberflus did a great job in adjusting. I thought they've done a good job in the order. You didn't see. I watched the game Monday night. I had Seattle. and this was I was going to say, if I bet my favorite quarterbacks, I would have bet Russell Wilson and Denver Monday. I didn't. I bet Geno Smith. I think I asked somebody, if you had Denver, help me across the street the other night. I'm still waiting for somebody. Okay. I think I was the only guy in America that took Denver as my best bet on AM 1000. So it's been an interesting football season. I think that we're going to find out more today. Here's what I do know. The Bears won't start out 0-2. Either way, if you start out 0-2, you have no shot at the playoffs. And I look at this division and I see the other teams, and all of a sudden I'm feeling a little more confident. Now that could go away today if we lose 40-0. And Aaron Rodgers always bounces back. But there was something about this Bear team, no plays being called late, substitutions on the field in time, quarterback being able to do what he wanted to do without somebody looking at him over there. So I see a definite, at least, easiness after the first game.
Bellissimo is predicting Roquan Smith to score on a defensive touchdown, picking off a slant pattern and taking it to the house. So we'll see. By the way, King Pookie Nation has his priorities in order here. I met King Pookie, and he is as bald as a cue ball, but he wants to know from you, how the hell did you keep all that hair?
It's a toupee. I finally coming out. Is it crooked? Is it crooked? Yeah, no, buddy. If I was bald, okay, I wouldn't have a toupee, and I'd have the sidewalls. I'd be one of those guys.
Me too.
Yeah, I'd have the sidewalls. You know, I'd be going with the sidewalls. I wouldn't do a comb over. You know what I mean? So, you know, I would just let it slay. But, you know, I've been very fortunate, and Tooch says it. I'm half Italian. By the way, Chris Watts, my guy, I can't follow you. I blocked you because I'm getting private. All your messages are coming in my DM. Okay? So all day long, Chris Watts' messages are coming in my DM. So you will continue to be blocked until you fix that. I don't want to hear from you 15 times a day during a Bear game. Okay? And that's what I was hearing. You're a great guy. You're a great listener. No more fucking messages in my DM.
Ooh, baby, Chris Watts.
I had my DM 15 times. That was a good play. No, this wasn't a good play. Quit it.
That's because you accepted an invitation into a DM.
Don't abuse it.
I know, but it's
what DMs are for?
It's a
running DMs are for? I'm getting married, or Mike say a special hello, not nice pass by Fields. Get out of there. Do it publicly, and then I may retweet one. I get tough sometimes, Aldo.
Do you think that Chris is stalking you?
Well, I don't get any other messages, but he's in Australia. So the flight alone will kill him. Wow.
All right. That was
I love Chris, though.
He's one
but
of
you are blocked until you quit sending me those DMs. So I think I'll unblock you today, and we'll try it out again.
I'm sorry, Mike. I have no idea how that has happened.
Yeah.
All right. I got something for you. We're going to talk more Bears. Tyler Ellis will be joining us in about 15 minutes or so. We're going to talk more Bears. But before that, I got to talk because one of the games I've got today, I've got the Saints beating outright the Bucks because I am just really confused about this whole Tom Brady thing. He's not practicing on Wednesdays now. He's taking Wednesdays off to be with the family. What kind of a football player is this? I know he's won a lot of rings, but come on, what's going on?
Well, then he'd have Akeem Hicks' schedule from last year. You know what I mean? And half the Bear team. Half the Bear team doesn't practice on Wednesdays usually. At least you know how many guys don't practice on Wednesdays and do walkthroughs? You know, practice isn't really practice anymore. They used to do two-a-days and pads. So Tom Brady, after 20 years missing practice, maybe, you know what? This is called what, if you're married, and I love the people that never been married, saying, one guy said, say, spend more time with your family and raise your kids right. Yeah, his kids are raised right. You know? You want to see kids that aren't raised right? I'll take you downtown on a Friday night, okay? That's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm not going to question any guy's deal with his family, but after 20 years and 6 Super Bowls, you're damn right he could take a Wednesday off, And if Justin Fields took a Wednesday off, I wouldn't care anyway. It's up to these guys. What I love is taking days off if you're not that good. And here's the best. Remember when Nagy didn't play Trubisky or the starters at all? Okay? That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Well, guess what? Finally, the chickens come home to roost. Quarterbacks that did not play any preseason, including Sean McVay and all them other guys, they went 3-8. Okay? So I expect that one of the top 3 most important positions in sports by head coaches that know what they're doing will probably start practicing next year so they don't get off to a bad start. The laziness and the lack of resolve in the National Football League for all the money these guys make is just astronomically pitiful. It really is. It really is.
Didn't Brady take the preseason off? So he's part of that 8, right?
Yeah, but you know what? You got to quit putting Brady with everybody. That sounds ridiculous. You got the greatest football player who ever lived.
Yeah,
and we're comparing them. We're comparing them to a quarterback maybe from Atlanta who didn't play the preseason. Tom Brady, to me, if he didn't practice till Saturday, and didn't practice at all during preseason. Plus, Tom Brady's having some other issues. But he's in a different category. If Jordan didn't practice in his 20th year, and I don't think Michael practiced as much probably when he was with the Wizards, and he still averaged 20 points a game, I'd have trouble questioning it. You can't go by, I know there's not supposed to be different rules for different people, but there are different rules for guys that are goats. And I think right now when Jordan does a commercial for Brady and he won't get out of bed for anybody else, you got to consider Tom Brady as respected by Michael. So I see what you're saying, Elds, but I think Brady's in a different category. I think that when you see guys throwing 3 interceptions in a game, like you saw some guys doing that didn't play, that's another thing. Now, that being said, if New Orleans wins tonight, there's a lot of questions, or wins on, when they play Tampa, there's going to be a lot of questions about that. You're going to see the Tom Brady domestic issues come out again. Okay. You're going to, and by the way, Tom Brady, basically, it's called what Aldo and I would say, the happy compromise. Okay. I'll take off on Wednesdays. I'll spend more time with the kids. We'll watch Nickelodeon. You and I, Giselle, may go out to dinner. So I know you're a mother, and you've been with the kids. And we just hope that you, along with the 6 or 7 others that help you with those kids, will be able to get this done. I mean, she's not your typical mother. He's not your typical football player. So you got a mother making more money than him usually. So, and she doesn't leave the house. She goes, look, and they take a picture and she makes $1 million. You know what I mean? So
I think
that's the way I feel.
I think Chris has it right. It's because he leaves the toilet seat up. But here's my retort back to you, Mike. Yeah. Is part of what made Tom Brady the greatest quarterback of all time was his competitive spirit, was the fact that he played like Michael Jordan did at practice. He played to win. He played to show his teammates how important winning was. And that competitive spirit has now been diminished because he's no longer around in practice. He missed a good portion of the preseason. To me, there is an expiration date on every player, no matter how great they are. And therefore, I think this is a sign that the Tampa Bay Bucks and Tom Brady will be upset today by the New Orleans Saints.
I'm going to counter that.
Please do.
I think he wins today, but it won't surprise me. New Orleans has had tremendous success, granted under different circumstances. I mean, remember, folks, when you're talking, but that doesn't take anything away from Jameis Winston, who played pretty well in the second half last week. I think half your football players at one time or another, just like half of America at one point or another, has domestic issues as far as arguments and,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I went to work every day. I've never missed a day of work to tell you that we were Donna Reed and Carl Betts. So long bye, honey, every day after 40 some years is ridiculous. Okay. So if you can work, if you can play your position, if you can do your job, whatever job it is, okay. Like Pete Rose told me, I said, Pete, you were going through a divorce with Carolyn at the time. I mean, how did you hit 300? How did you hit 300? And he said, can you imagine if I was going through the divorce hitting 200? But the bottom line is, Pete Rose loved baseball more than he loved his family or his wife. There's no doubt about that.
Loved winning.
Tom Brady, don't ask Tom Brady. I mean, Giselle, if you said, do you like modeling or do you love your family? Okay. She'd probably say, I love my family, blah, blah, blah. Tom Brady, do you love something you've been doing since you were 8, 7, that has made you world renowned, that has given you everything? I think he answered it when he said, I retire. And then a minute later, he goes, I don't know if that was such a good idea. And the same thing goes for Serena. Now we're hearing Serena's going to come back.
Yeah.
After what? She said, I'm done.
That's right.
She was returning from some of these people shots while she was having a plate of eating some pie, hitting the ball back. She says, I'm done. That's not their mindset. They're never done.
Right.
Roger Federer is done. You know why? Because Roger Federer knows that injuries have taken a toll the last 3 years. He loves his family, but you can do both. Okay, so not playing on a Wednesday is good for Tom Brady, and I believe that they're going to win today. And if they don't win, then Aldo will be, for right now, pretty right on with what he's saying. But you got to know the animal you're playing with. I mean, Tom Brady not playing on Wednesdays is like Jagger having a sore throat after the 10th song. You know what I mean? He'll just go through it. You know what I mean? And then they move off.
I hear you. Well, and total honesty here, I've been predicting Tom Brady's demise for about 7 years now. So,
and by the way, we don't want to start talking about everybody else's marital status, do we? While Tom Brady's been married to the same woman. We don't want to start. You know what? I got a pretty good track record because I had a woman that said one more time about 15 times. Okay, and she kept me around. That's the bottom line. I've said this many times, and I did criticize Brady for what I left. Pure left 4 times outside, walked around the house, and came back in. Okay, I left for 10 minutes, and I said, okay, I need some coffee or something. I go to the refrigerator. Everything's good. If the woman leaves, and BB's never left, but if the woman leaves the compound or whatever the hell they call it, when you're rich and you're married to Mata, you have a compound.
That's right.
I have a house. Okay. If the woman leaves, see, the woman can determine whether the marriage is on and off. If the woman is a decent woman, she's the one, in my opinion, that will, and I hope I'm not hitting too close to home with anybody, determine how this marriage is going to go, regardless of how she is, period.
Well, and I told you before the show that I've been having some domestic issues for the last 2 weeks, and my wife is out of town.
Well, first of all, where's she at?
She's in Hawaii. That's my domestic issue.
Yeah, but how long has she been there? A few days. She just landed, right?
13 days. Today's the 13th day, and I'll be picking her up at 5 a.m.
13. Yeah, I don't want to say anything. They say when I just hope to God that, basically it's not one of those deals where Ace Rothstein calls the Beverly Hilton and the lady says to him, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Mr. and Mrs. Rothstein left."
That's right.
Remember that baby in Casino? Oh, did they? No. Don is working, period. Good woman. End of story. 13 days.
Yeah, and I told you that every day I'm reminded she's in Hawaii because before she left, she bought me all these coffee Keurig things that are all Hawaiian blend coffee, Hawaiian every morning. And so I'm walking the dog with the bag of shit while she's out by the pool doing her job.
That's okay. Big shot, hot shot like me. I had 2 bags in my hand today. And some guy yelled at me, "Hurry up!" I mean, we're all the same. By the way, Aldo, in honor of Donna being gone, I'm going to send you one of my favorite albums of all time.
Which is?
Aloha from Hawaii from Elvis Presley.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right.
Yep.
I got one more for you. I'm just going to give out two.
Okay.
The Saints +4, and I'm picking A.J. Dillon, the Packers running back. He's getting +130 to score a touchdown. I think he's going to score a touchdown against the Bears today. So I'm picking.
Yeah, I mean, if you could look at it reads to me. It reads to me basically that the Bears should cover this game. But it's read that to me every single time the Bears play the Packers. It's one of those deals where my system tells me to take one team. Look, I'll give everybody a perfect example. Everybody says that Rodgers owns the Bears. Okay? Everybody makes fun of that. Well, Aldo says to me sometimes, he goes, "Mike, please, okay, we know you raced Zorich. We know you owned a hot dog stand. We knew you grew up in the city. We know that you're mad at the McCaskey family. Come up with something different once in a while, okay? I've been hearing the same story for 30 years. So I said, every day I'm looking, what can I give Aldo different? And I found something. The Seattle Seahawks are 15-2 the last 17 games against the San Francisco 49ers.
Ooh.
Think about that. Think about that. And they went out last week, the San Francisco 49ers, and played. I felt like I was reliving Trubisky Fields or Trubisky Falls. They have Jimmy G, who's 30, listen to this, 35-16 as a starter, coming home to Rolling Meadows, where it's like 10 miles away from where he grew up, okay? Played in this weather his whole life. Went to Eastern Illinois. Without Jimmy G going into this game, the 49ers were 8-28. Why in God's name would you not start a quarterback who's taking you to the Final Four, who's taking you to Super Bowl because he had a bad game last year? So you walk into Soldier Field with an all-pro type quarterback who played hurt last year, got you to the Final Four, and you start him? And the only reason people love you, Kyle Shanahan, is because your dad was respected and you're pretty good. But you went downhill with me last week. Now today, Lance is playing, and he'll probably light it up. But for you not to start in the opening day, Jimmy Garoppolo showed me a stupidity I have not seen forever. He would have played a better game. And I think we caught a break with the weather, but we caught a break. Everybody's talking about Justin Field. Trey Lance looked like he never played Division I or Division II or even Division III. It's just a stupid decision. I don't get it. I don't get some of these people that think that they could just plug in another quarterback and when you have a Super Bowl quarterback on your team, it's mind-boggling.
It is. Jeffrey says, imagine how the 49ers fans feel.
How do you do this? How do you do that? You got Jimmy G on the sidelines, healthy. How do you do that? And he's not the only one. Look, I'm sorry, Aldo. I'm on a tangent now. I watched the Denver Broncos play Seattle. I had Seattle Monday night. I should have never won that game, except for one thing. They have a head coach, the Denver Broncos, who should not be a head coach in the National Football League. If you watch that game, you had 2 times on the 1-yard line. I thought I'm dead. They fumbled twice. Okay? They fumbled twice. That's not his fault. It's the play call. You got Russell Wilson. You sneak that ball. You're in. You sneak that ball, you're in. And I know Geno Smith tried to sneak, and he slipped. I understand that. But this is Russell Wilson. Then you're 4th and 5, and you're going to go for a 64-yard field goal. A 64-yarder. That was your plan. That was your plan. Do you know? I got a stat for you that will blow your minds. Do you know what the National Football League kickers are career-wise? 64 yards plus. 64, 65, 66. Career. All time.
All time.
Does anybody know? You won't know because you listen to Aikman and that dope Buck. These guys making millions of dollars. They got surprised by the call. I wasn't paying attention, And then after the game, they took it easy on Hackett. You know why? Because of his daddy, who's respected. It's all nepotism. Oh, you know what? I think I might have done something. You should have blown his ass out of the stadium with your criticism. And you let him off the hook. Do you know how many field goals have been made from 64 plus? You might not hear this on all the other podcasts or the stations, that have some people that are younger maybe or don't delve enough. Do you know 2 and 27? 2 for 29 from 64 yards plus. And this guy thought that was a good idea instead of letting Russell Wilson go from 4th and 5. You paid all this money. And you let me win that bet. And it was a miracle that Seattle won that bet. And here's another thing. I knew how to run a clock and stop a clock when I was 14. How do you let 3 timeouts go with 1:20 left down to 20 seconds and then finally call one? Period. How do you do that? Let all that time run out. When I was 12, I knew how to call a timeout. I knew how to run a clock. And then I keep hearing, Aldo, well, this was only his first game. You've been coaching since you were 25 years old.
Thank you.
This was his first game in the NFL. Mm-hmm. You got the job because of your dad. Period. End of story. And because Aaron Rodgers was your quarterback.
Ooh, baby. Mike Diaz says that
I won the bet. But the stupidity of it all. What's the guy's name? Nathaniel Hackett? What a butcher that guy is.
Why would his dad name him Nathaniel? I don't understand that. That's not a football name. It should be.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but he's not head coach. That was a mistake. Maybe they win today. But my God, you got Lance against that knucklehead. Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of amazing, I got a special guest for you, a guest surprise for your Mike North's early Bears special. This guy,
I love it.
When it comes to passionate Chicago Bears fans, this guy is probably the most passionate Bears fan on the face of the earth and the most positive and hopeful. His name is Tyler Ellis. Tyler, how are you, my man?
Hey, Tyler.
I'm freaking incredible. Great morning, gentlemen. Freaking Mike North, it's a pleasure and a privilege, sir. I'm freaking jacked to be here. The way you was going on, like, yo, me and Mike can do this. I'm totally with you, but I'm doing amazing. It's Bears, it's game day, it's Packer week, and I'm ready. But Mike, I just gotta say, I'm a fan, sir. I'm in the DC area, and your commercials play out here, sir, on 106.7 The Fan, and so that's really pretty cool. And so I've been a fan here for a long time, Chief. Yes, sir.
What's the name? What's the name of that?
What 106.7 The Fan. Your commercials play out here.
That's awesome. It's probably for some betting service I worked for 10 years ago. Who knows? But I'm going to tell you something. Here's what I'm going to tell you, my friend. First of all, it's great to have you on, Tyler. Passionate Bear fans. You know what? I want to ask you this question because this is something that's not been talked about. We always talk about what Rodgers is going to do to the Bears, okay? Defense. Will they be successful? Will they not? You know the history. But you know what nobody's talking about? The Bear offense against the Packer defense. I mean, it's not like the days, and I want to get your take on this. I mean, there's no, Clay Matthews. I'm looking for the Reggie Whites of the I'm looking for all these named players. And, excuse me, I know there's a couple guys, But these are guys when you get them in football cards back there, you go, who is this guy? You know what I mean? So I want to discuss what you think Fields and the play that he's going to be given and the plays that he's going to call. How do you think that's going to work out, offense against defense?
This week, what I think is going to work out is the fact that we're going to get some separation because of the system. And that's what you saw the Vikings take advantage of. Justin Jefferson had those guys on skates last week. I mean, the amount of the separation. And the way Justin Fields is turning his hips more this year with his footwork, he's delivering. It's like when you're playing pool. Left English, right English. Justin Fields is putting it. Now, every ball isn't perfect, and I'm not saying he's a second coming, but I'm saying he's throwing either high or low to the backside shoulder, those type of things. And so I feel like with these wide receivers playing Getsy, who knows that defense just as much as well, we're going to take advantage. But no Clay Matthews. I mean, we got 4 brand new starters on the offensive line. I feel like we did do enough to address it. We still have to see if they're good or not. But what I'm saying is, sir, I feel like we're going to take advantage of some separation and some play calling from Luke.
That's very good assessment. And I'll tell you what, you're right. You did your homework, because if you watched the Green Bay tape last week, the catches that were made against them, guys were wide open. You didn't used to see that. So we're going to need an accurate ball. I was hoping for bad weather, because I think it played into the Bears' hands. I thought that San Francisco did make a mistake not starting the pocket passer in a very slippery type of situation. And to put in a new guy with that kind of weather on the road was pretty tough. That being said, a lot of people, almost everybody that we're talking to, is taking Green Bay. I mean, every national pundit, they don't know anything anyway. They're all squares. But everybody, for the most part, is taking Green Bay. How much guts, Tyler, would it take you to put $200 on the Bears plus 9.5 or 10? Even though we got this thing broken down the way it should go, you know what? Like Mike Tyson says, the plan's good until you get punched in the face. Then the plan changes. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I know what you mean. And I actually did take the Bears money line.
Oh my God, money line.
Yeah.
Well, how much you gonna make off that? Woo!
I should make about $500 if it goes my way.
Good gamble. Good gamble.
Yes, sir. Because of the situation that I'm seeing, every single expert on NFL TV or whatever it is, they're talking about what the Bears used to be. And I'm like, did you guys not know that we got a new coach? Like, what are you what Aaron Rodgers did to us the last 4 games is irrelevant. Like, it's super. One, he doesn't have Devontae. He doesn't have a scapegoat anymore. That's one. And then 2, why are you discrediting our coaching staff? Like who are you to do that after the 49ers were picked to go to a Super Bowl contender? And so, at the end of the day, playoff teams find a way to win ugly. And so, sir, I not only did I take the Bears money line, I also took that beautiful spread of plus 10 and add them to a parlay.
When you call me sir, I feel like the principal of my high school. So just call me Mike.
It's that Navy in me. It's that Navy in me.
I understand, man. You're a cool dude. I understand. Everything is like Packer. And they did not look good last week. They dropped the first ball thrown to them, the rookie wide receiver. Rodgers has been agitated. He saw it on the sidelines. But the one thing that scares people is to say he's been doing the same thing in the first game, looking horrible. And then the second game, they come out. And here's what I'm going to say. You took the money line. I got better games to take, but I would not doubt, and I'm be rooting for you tonight. Okay, I stayed away from this game only because of the past, and I know you can't look into the past. And what you said is absolutely true. New group, knew this, knew that, But I'm worried about the old guy behind the quarterback. That's the difference. I mean, we saw quarterbacks. Think about this, folks. Last week I made 5 bets, went 3-2. You know what I lost with? And this is what Tyler's talking about. I lost my bets with Joe Burrow and Kyler Murray. You know who I won my bets with? Geno Smith, Justin Field. Okay? Those 2 guys right there would tell you they're going to lose their game. They're going to lose their game, and they didn't. They didn't lose that game. So, and I won with Danny Jones, Danny, Dime, what is it? Nickel Store Danny, Dime Store Danny, Danny Dimes. I won with Danny Jones. I won with Justin Field and Geno Smith. So Tyler's right. That's why they call it the NFL any given Sunday, right?
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. New regime. If Ryan Pace was still here, I would be concerned. But the fact that it was a total makeover, the leadership is different. I'm big on leadership. I'm big on people that have credibility, the people that actually stand behind what they're saying, and people are buying in. The experts have been saying that Aaron Rodgers, these wide receivers didn't just start becoming inexperienced. They've been inexperienced all season. Nobody on the Packers wide receiver core had over 600 yards last year. None of them. And so, but that wasn't talked about. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to make them great. But what did we see happen? The guy dropped a pass. He didn't go back to him into the fourth quarter. But then you hear Herbert, you hear these other quarterback wide receivers say, hey, Josh Allen, we messed up earlier, but he believes in us. This is what the difference. I was saying, Aaron Rodgers expects excellence. And so he's expecting something that isn't there yet. Justin Fields is growing with his receivers. And so they're all on the same page. And so there's a common chemistry that's there that I feel like is not being talked about, but it's okay because I love these odds. I take these odds all day long.
You know what? I don't question anybody that puts his money where his mouth is. I'm really happy that you came on today, Tyler. I really love the fact that, and let everybody know what you're doing on the bar room right now and what's going on.
And then Mike, and real quick, sir, I'm gonna tell you some of my other picks. Is that okay?
You go with them, baby. Come on.
Okay, so
let me write them down.
Yeah, me too. And Q from Cincy wants to know that parlay again, if you can repeat that.
Yeah, Tyler.
So one of my tickets I took, this is a full parlay. I took the Browns money line, I took the Colts money line, I took the Bears spread, and I took the Buffalo's money line, and I took the Bengals money line.
It's similar to some of my picks. I didn't bet all this, but
well, wait. What are the last two? You took the Browns, the Colts, the Bears, and
Buffalo
and Bengals.
Okay,
but then I added the Bears plus 10. I hopped on that real quick.
So you're not going money line with the Bears.
No. I took the money line in the straight up bet, and in my parlay. In my parlay, I put the spread in.
I get you. That's a 5-team par.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy. Good luck to you, pal. I'll tell you what. If you win this,
we're going out to eat.
I'll fly to Washington. We'll go out to eat, and we'll wave at the Lincoln Memorial.
Yes, sir.
All right, Tyler, take care, buddy.
Tyler, by the way, Tyler will be with us on Bear Football immediately after the game. Danny Shimon, Tyler Ellis, and John Buffone will be talking about the Bears being 2-0.
How old is this guy? How old are you, Tyler?
I feel 25 until somebody asks me, but I'm actually 38.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, you see all those muscles? You see all those muscles?
I flex for him.
You see all those muscles? I had something like that when I was in my 30s.
I'd rather have all the wisdom. Mike, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Buddy. Take care. Bear down.
Thank you, Tyler.
Oh, God, I love that we're doing this now. Look at that guy. What a guy he is.
Awesome.
What a good guy. What good people we have.
We do.
At the bar room. That's why I haven't even talked about this. We're close to 13,000. When I started, we had 49.95. Aldo and all the great people working their butts off. Make sure you follow us on Bar Room. We've really gone up. We're close to 13,000 now. It's becoming very relevant. They say anything over 10,000, you're very fortunate. We're never going to be the big time freaks of nature that do a great job with all their podcasts. We're just right there in the middle of the road. We got quality Bear fans, hardcore football fans, and we have people that stay with us all year round. So very happy, and it was great. Tyler came on strong, and the guys put together. I mean, I'm serious. I go to Washington. I'm giving them a call. We're going to go out.
That's right. And you'll feel safe whatever establishment you go to.
Let me tell you something. I could have a half track. I won't feel safe nowadays, but that's okay.
The last week, Johnny Santucci joined us. This week, Tyler Ellis, and next week we'll have another member of the Bar Room
every week
for 5-10 minutes. It'll be great fun.
He was great.
Yeah, he's outstanding. And by the way, you can also catch Tucci's show, Weekend Sports Bets with Anthony, Friday evenings here on the Barroom Network. So make sure you make that an appointment for all you gamblers out there or people who just want to be entertained. Mike, what do you got for us this week? What are your official bets?
All right. First of all, I'm off to a bad start as far as college, but this isn't college. I know the pros better.
Mm-hmm.
And, you make your adjustments. You do what you have to do. You look at some of the spreads. You say to yourself, how did this happen? How did it get to be this way? And, I heard Tyler, the one thing I'm hearing a lot of is a lot of New Orleans. A lot of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Tom Brady given -2.5 right now. I really don't want to take him because I respect the guys that just took New Orleans, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay, okay, in this game. I'm going to take Tampa Bay. I also like the Jets getting 6.5, maybe in an upset. Cleveland won last week, but you know what? It's not that I don't think they'll win. I think it's a field goal game, maybe. They're getting 6.5 points. They still have some issues on that team, to say the least, including at quarterback. So I like them also. And then, last but not least, I'm taking Tennessee. I just can't believe. I know Buffalo's great, but Tennessee getting 10. They're a playoff team. They lost a real tough game last week. No doubt the Giants beating them. But you know what? I think they're going to come back. Not saying they're going to win, but I think Tannehill, he was playing okay. They're going to run the ball a lot. So I think it's going to be closer than the 10. So those are my picks.
Those are 3 great picks. And like Mike Hardesty says, never bet against Brady. I've got the Saints today, but I got them covering. So I'm not saying they're going to.
They could win by 1, Tampa Bay. They could win 20-19. Exactly. It's about the point spread. I think the Gaines bet, Terrell's got the Bears in a money line. It's worth couch change.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting, it's 500,
Absolutely.
And then to take the spread, and I misunderstood him. He's with the parlay. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not? You know what? There were 7, I think last week, 8 favorites won and 8 dogs won, covered.
Right.
So, you just got to pick the right one. Now, I had all these college games yesterday, and I had about 6 games to choose from. If I would have picked that game instead of the game I picked, I win. Sometimes it's which choice you make from the good picks that you have. So, you know what? Great time. And by the way, thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Gaines is awesome.
Yeah, he knows the stuff, too. I was getting lost there.
If you follow Gaines on his Twitter, he posts a lot of workout stuff, and so you will either get in shape or feel incredibly ashamed, like I do. It's like this guy.
38. He's a military man, I believe.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, you know what? And he's jacked. He is. He works out and stuff like that. I walked from the bathroom the other day, and I went down the stairs, and I got winded. So we'll just see what happens.
Mike, a lot of people don't know that you're a veteran too, right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Big time. I mean, best thing, well, it was fun. Got drafted. Was supposed to go to Vietnam. And then Nixon put the freeze on orders during the talks. And then 6 months later, when they we had already had our orders. I was going to go to Long Bin Jung. How's that?
Whoa.
You get the brochure. They don't send you a brochure. They don't have a girl on the. They have a guy like this going, ready? You know what I mean? I was riding my bike 6 months ago. Now I'm looking for Charlie in a jungle. And then they canceled my orders. I ended up going to Fort Riley, Kansas, which was one of the great times of my life. I lived across the street from Kansas State University. Oh, there were a lot of problems back then because a lot of the college girls, some of the college girls liked the Army guys.
Uh-huh.
And in 72, everybody hated the Army guys. I don't know why. We were going over. I understand. We were fighting in another land, but I never understood that. But So there were some problems sometimes between the college guys and the Army guys.
Yeah,
You know what I
weird.
mean?
Yeah, very.
Oh
weird.
yeah, it was great. You got some 20-year-old, 19-year-old freshmen going, "Hey man, how come you like those guys?" You know what I mean? Those are the days.
Those were the days. Well, again,
were the days.
people in the chat room are thanking you for your service. I thank you for your service.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I thank you for another great Bears.
Can I
early
just
Bears-
say something though?
Sure.
Thank me for my service, but I didn't want to go. Okay. But you could thank me because I went and I ended up doing okay. I took my GED. I took my best thing. They gave me my GED test. I went to school there. I learned because I was a high school dropout. I took my GED and I got it. So everything worked out good.
Well, you're not like some of my family members. They were drafted and they went to Canada and spent the next 20 years of their life looking over their shoulder when there was a knock on the door until I think it was Carter that gave them amnesty. So anyway.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. You know, you hang out. Yeah, there were a couple guys that wanted to go make hockey pucks. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No doubt.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. It is the Barfly Tailgate Show coming up. We will be back here, Mike and I, next Sunday morning. We've got some more winners for you and some more laughs. Mike, you are the absolute best. I will talk to you soon. Okay, brother?
I love you, buddy. Take care. Take care, everybody. Go Bears.
Yeah.